our cathedrals, our churches. We have a contact with them, we respect them, and we love them. It's because we need to be in contact with the people that are dead before us, because they are spiritual there. But the reality is, churches converted into an assembly of a small redoubt of the elderly are gradually losing their congregations and being converted into mere tourist attractions. You go to the church in Barcelona, it's full with tourists making photographs. They don't have a sense of the sacred. They don't go to pray. They don't go just to respect at least the artists that were working so hard for having this nice cathedral. They want to collect a picture. They can buy a postcard that is better than the pictures they do, but they are really annoying. The clergy is confused and being manipulated, forgetting their most important task, the salvation of souls. As we see once again with the recent donation of 100,000 euros that Pope Francis has sent to the Auschwitz-Birkenau Memorial. Can you imagine that? Precisely at Easter time. That has a big meaning. It means Jesus Christ is not anymore the Salvador. He's not anymore the one that is crucified on the cross, but the people that were supposed to be converted into salt in Auschwitz. And then you give a coin in the church, they take the coin to the Vatican, and that ends at the Auschwitz-Birkenau Museum. Is that the goal of a pope or of a priester? No. If at least he had made it instead to the memory of the Polish victims of Katyn, or the Spanish victims of Paraguayos who were at least Catholics. But from now on, I will be personally choosing the poor ones who need something. Masonic forces everywhere monopolize decision-making positions in the service of internationalists, globalists, and the decay and enslavement of the mankind. Some people think, I don't say that, Talmudic Judaism is skillfully orchestrating this macro plan to destroy Christianity and bring the nations of the world under its rule. Music has become a mechanical repetition of syncopated sounds that disturb the public at shopping malls, via television, in the nightclubs, in the bus, returning humanity to an early prehistory in order to make us like animals. Look at the people dancing. What is that? It's no harmony, it's no beauty, it's not like animals. I am sure the old pre-historian humans, they were dancing nicer than that. And reading, as a publisher, has been radically reduced to the highly educated strata of society, while the masses replace books with electronic devices that keep them busy, answering urgent messages that are not important at all, while postponing the really important decisions that do not seem to be urgent. Consumerism enslaves us, and to free himself, the man of today should abstain from it and other stimuli that satisfy the senses. Fasting means abstaining from something. Man is only himself when he manages to say no to himself. Actually, we do say yes every time. I'm hungry, I want chocolate, I want to drink, I want that, I want to sleep, I want sex, I want that. What type of man are you creating? You're never going to have the conquistadores from America, or the people that did the Reconquista in Spain, or the big artists like Wagner, Schopenhauer, or philosophers or thinkers, because you need a discipline. You need to know that eating, taking breakfast, and sleeping is only the way of keeping you alive, but that is not the sense of life, and that's exactly the point. And chronic and constant wars awaken us from the heavy lethargy of a peace with an expiration date. Libya, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Palestine, Yemen, Ukraine, conflicts stayed and institutionalized by those in power. False flag attacks and wars with invented excuses are multiplying. September 11, the non-existing Iraqi weapons of mass destruction, ISIS trained by Israeli agents and financed by US agencies, and lies are used as an international political weapon dominate the world scene. And nevertheless, but also, every year, thousands of species of animals and plants disappear forever and will never again populate the planet's surface because we want to consume too much. So that was a little bit an impressive picture of our world today. But is that a reason to be pessimistic? Yes, in view of the above, pessimism is rife among our people. But as our good friend Gerd Homsik says tirelessly, pessimism is a disease, a contagious disease. Nature knows no pessimism and knows no optimism. Quite simply, if you don't occupy an empty space, something else will. It does not accept empty spaces. If you do not reproduce or have a large family with many children, others will have those children and occupy that space. So easily as that. And they will have the natural right to do so because of your unconditional surrender. You decided, I prefer to make holidays in Canary Island, to go to Cuba, to buy a new car every 3 years. Okay, but do that. You will have no children, so you are finished. You are giving unconditional surrender. But I am from temperament an optimist. Are there green shoots? We have to admit that not everything is bad in the world we live in. Some examples. The love of animals, driven by St. Francis from Assisi and Walt Disney, in our young hearts, has left the realm of the minority to reach large segments of the population, at least in the West. That's true. Everybody tries to defend the animals and to love them. You don't find that in Asia. You don't find that in Africa. You don't find that in the Arabic world. Contact with nature has become a necessity for almost everyone, and something decisive to compensate for our urban and virtual lives. We are spending a lot of hours in internet. We are spending a lot of hours complaining. But how many of you are going to the mountains to sleep under the stars? I was asking him. I was sleeping today in a 3 or 4 or 5 stars hotel. I don't care. The important thing is to sleep under the 1,000 stars hotel. In the nature, we have to go often to the nature and to be in contact with. Solidarity initiatives are survived the rampant selfishness of liberalism. I see in Spain, in a time of crisis, how much the people come together for help each other. For help not only the nuns from the Catholic Church, but a lot of associations, they say, okay, the system is not working, they are destroying us, but we are helping each other somehow. The Catholic Church, we've spoken about that. Nevertheless, if you are pagan or Anglican or Protestant, as a fact or historical fact, the Catholic Church, is hierarchical, is anti-democratical, has survived 2,000 years after its creation. Is that not positive? Despite all laws that await its collapse, without considering that our Lord announced in advance to the 4 winds that in the end, evil will not prevail. You should always think about that. Evil will not prevail. Because I can see in our groups, in our people, in our friends, they are all pessimistic, abandoned, there's nothing to be done. We better commit suicide. That is the wrong thing you could do because you will not be among those participating in the victory of our people. It's true, the prayers of many people who seem few, nevertheless maintains man bound to the fine thread that leads to a spiritual life. In a world where consumerism, hedonism, and materialism flood everything, just praying is important. We have in Barcelona a cluster for nuns. There is a cluster for clausura. Yeah, okay. So when the little girls, 16, 17 years old, come there and say, knock, knock, hello, I am me and I want to come here. The big mother says, think deep about that, because from here you don't go out alive or the dead, because they are going to be buried dead. And a lot of people and comrades also, they are saying, is it not stupid? Such a beautiful young girl going in a jail, voluntary. Listen, they are doing the last and the only ideal job. They are praying for you, because you forget to do so every day. You are just too busy doing things. But somebody there, these 70 girls that remains in this monastery, they're praying for all of us. Is that not idealistic? And this type of people we need too. Criticism and distrust towards the system is increasing. You just need to read in internet. We could speak about Andreas von Bülow, a man from the German government close to the Secret Service. He was the first one saying September 11 was a lie. Or Mikhail Gorbachev, the former president of the Soviet Union, very critical of the system today. Or Israel Shamir, a Jew converted that is always criticizing the Jews. Or the people from WikiLeaks, to name just a few known examples. But it suffices for us to spend some time surfing the internet to realize how skeptical the thinking population of the planet has become regarding those in power. Is that not positive? The internet has many flaws. The most important is that it absorbs huge amounts of our limited time. But thanks to the internet, someone in Argentina can communicate, speak via Skype in real time, send documents instantly, and exchange information with someone in Vladivostok or New Zealand. The internet has become our information salvation and our opportunity. We will never have had the slightest chance of reaching the major newspapers or television. With the internet, anyone on the planet can inform themselves about what someone else thinks or says. something very practical. Low-cost flights allow virtually anyone to quickly and economically travel to almost any destination, for example, to the London Forum. Just 20 years ago, it would have been impossible for yes to pay the tickets to all of us, but nowadays that's possible. Mobile phones give us access to immediate communication from virtually everywhere. And so on, we could speak about so many things that are not bad in this world. What should we do to recognize history in the moment? Document and explain it as it occurs certainly is more difficult than looking back at it. When all the facts are clear, it is the difference between a journalist and a historian. We have a duty to perform both tasks, research and document the past, but also to recognize the great currents of thought, social trends, changes in the heart of men. We have seen in Barcelona these protesters. They don't trust at all any party anymore. They don't trust any minister. They don't trust the government. They don't trust the parliament. And they go on the streets. They are not the Nazis. They are not the right-wing people. They are also not the left-wing people. They are just burghers that are fed up with the system. The key is, of course, they don't have anyone organizing this power. And for our militants, for our people, we have to harden body and spirit in austerity, hardness, and a Spartan lifestyle. While the Spartans could fight against the enemy with 200, 300 people because they were Spartans, we are not. If we want to fight about this huge enemy, we have to become a type of Spartans. And we have to learn and to make the youth people to learn to appreciate beauty and spread it around us. Beauty is important. Beauty is our culture, is our human soul. The human soul is hungry of love and beauty. And we are in an ugly world. But if you show people nice pictures, they are going to love it. Why you will ask, why is Pedro spending his time collecting nice pictures here? Because I was thinking, okay, the problem we have with young people, they have a sister and a daughter and a wife and a mom and a grandmom. If these girls, they like this book, the future belongs to us. And do they like this book? It's having a big success in Spain. And is that a typical political book? No, but it is a political book. It is. We should also be smart and clever as are the children of darkness. Here we hear Mark and some others speaking about the child of darkness. They are pretty smart, yeah? And sometimes we are not that smart. So we should be smart. It's our duty to be smart. Some people think, if I go to a process, no, I was telling the truth and I had a good will, so I am not guilty. That is not going to help you at all. You have to know the laws, how this processual engineering is working. The enemy knows exactly this processual engineering, and they kick you like a fish. You have nothing to do. So we have to measure our words. I was asking, yes, can I say everything I believe in this forum? He told me, as long as you do that in an academical way, in a serious way, it's possible. And I do believe it's possible in all Europe, also in the United States and Canada. But of course, we have to know what is the enemy thinking, what they want to find on me to keep me out. So don't say that. You can use other words for that. Eh? Find, gather, and form groups of intelligent, convinced, and committed individuals, like the ones here, who will help you spread the necessary political and historical knowledge using the means within your reach. And strengthen within yourself the conviction that against the spirit of heroism, no materialistic force can prevail. After the end of civilization, we can see it's coming. We have to start thinking, as I told, about the day after. I am sure a new spiritual awakening in the world will soon occur. We will see it in our lives, perhaps. There is no alternative to the impasse in which we find ourselves. We need to find friends, not enemies. Yesterday, I was walking through London, and I could see the face of these Pakistanis and Indians and so on, looking at me, and I had the impression they were looking, asking, do you accept me or not? And are you kicking me out or not? So we know the enemies, the child of the darkness. They are using them as a weapon against us. Why we... But that these people are a weapon from the enemy, it not means they are not persons. They're humans like you and me. They are good and bad Indians, good and bad blacks, and good and bad, very bad white people. So, should we not try to convince these women, these people, these persons to be friends of us? You can see they are using a weapon that can convert it into a boomerang. They send it to us, the boomerang. Millions of Muslims. But now they are getting back the boomerang. Terrorism, attacks, Charlie Hebdo, whatever. Why? Because these humans running in London, they are not stupid, they are also persons. They understand who is running slowly. Of course, the Muslim people, they know who is running the world. But the other ones, they will know, okay, these Romans, you have a nice London, a nice England, and a nice race. I am coming because you allow me to come. And so he is not guilty. You are allowing them to come. Of course, they prefer to be here as in Nigeria or in India or in Pakistan. Who knows? Who not? But in my opinion, we should start speaking with them. So you cannot, if you come to power tomorrow, what is not going to happen, you cannot send them to Mars with a rocket. It's not working. You cannot throw them into the sea. So the future of Europe is going to be the last Europeans and the new Europeans. You can fight against them and have a lot of enemies, and we have enough enemies, or try to speak with them and say, listen, can we not work together against the common enemy? Greg spoke, our people, the white race, they are smart enough to rule. And we know, whatever it happens, the white people are going to rule the world, as they did the Romans. What was the wrong step of the Romans? At the end of the empire, with the Edict of Caracalla, they told all these slaves coming from us in Africa, from now on you are Romans. That was the end of the Roman Empire, of course, no? But you got the new Italy. It's not the Roman Empire, but you have Italy. So my point is, we know they are a weapon from the enemy, they are going to combat us, but we cannot fight against so many millions. So try to take the boomerang and do the boomerang go against our enemies. It's not easy. I know it's not easy, because we have to accept, we have to see in Barcelona young Spanish girls, beautiful white girls marrying a black guy that is probably not so smart. Who knows? And this girl is loose forever. He's never going to come back. The kids are going to be mulattoes, and they are going, so the specialists in IQ in a level a little bit under than the mother and the grandmother. Is that good for the kids? Probably not. But nobody is telling these girls, wait a minute, you can marry whatever you want, but what is going to happen is that and that and that and that. Nobody is telling them, not the parents, not in the school, not the TV, not the government. So, and the girls, they are going to marry these people. So we have the duty of explaining to the girls what is going to happen if you fall in love for a minute and you lose your future. I have quoted often José Ortega y Gasset. Ortega y Gasset was a Spanish philosopher, took a little bit the romantic stream from the Germans. And he says, not me, I am quoting, that in the Middle Ages, the Jews had the gold in the world, but they were living in the ghettos. Christianity had more interest in building great Gothic cathedrals and churches, in crusades, in spiritual life, than money. Today, he said, the Jews have not changed. They still have the gold of the world and are the masters of it. Why? Because we have changed it. So we are giving value to this gold they had in the medieval ages. They still have the gold, but now the gold is also important for us. It's like a sword. If we say, okay, fine, I have no more interest in your gold, in your money, in your shops, in your consuming, this wax sword is going to melt. And Shamir, our Jewish friend, converted, used this lapidary evangelical idea for the title of the latest book we published in Spanish. Do not be afraid. Fear, despite being human, is a harmful thing for our fighter. It adds nothing. It paralyzes and allows the snake to swallow the mouse easily as it remains frozen in panic. Oh, it's a snake there. So, but if you move, the snake is not having so a big chance of it you. Né? So, when we come to the important part of the speech, for refreshing, you will wonder, is important art and beauty? A lot. Art is the other path that takes us to a spiritual conception of world and life. If we appreciate art, we are not going to appreciate so much gold. Personally, I could not live without good music. My idea was to have nice music here surrounding us now, but the technical questions are always falling apart in all Spain, not only here, also in Spain, everywhere you go, the covers and the machines are not working for us. We have literature, sculpture, and painting, but none of them reach the depths of our being as immediately as music. Today, we will use this slide projector to try to show you our world view through some pictorial pictures I have selected. What for? To educate the youth. There are not so many young people here, but the young people are the ones we have to reach, because those are the future. The idealism and sensitivity of young heart mocks all types of tricks. It was the same in our youth. It has always been. But today it seems that indeed youth are surrounded, enslaved with gold chains by a hedonistic and materialistic system. This image and these thoughts reflect with the sincerity of 20 years of age the spirit that animated our idealism. It has nothing to do with youth filled up in excess, tired or weary of life, forming chaotic groups, Hollywood Nazis, football hooligans, squatters, anti-fascist groups, and other capitalistic urban tribes. For us, art should take precedence in all fields of life. And since we are part of nature, and it is part of ourselves, we should return to it without fail. Religion tells us the ultimate and primary purpose of our existence, so it should come first. One after another, these ideas we are attempting to offer, they should help us today and the youth in a challenging and exciting path, explore life and fill it with meaning. For this, we must increase the value of dedication and service, as opposed to benefit and pleasure to all ideas. In the family, at work, or in the nation, the values of order, discipline, comradeship, tradition, and will remain essential for our fight. Anyone who knows the soul of youth will understand that it is precisely this that will joyfully open the ears of people to the call of idealistic struggle. It usually maintains a revolutionary stance comprising 100 different ways. It is, in short, a reflection of the great men of the future, but often with better and more sincere feelings. Times change, but in essence, the eternal message remains unchanged. Undoubtedly, these maxims and these pictures have remained relevant and are fully useful for the young today. Attempt to successfully keep swimming against the current. Rudel, probably some of you know him, he always told, "Verloren ist nur, wer sich selbst aufgibt." It is only lost who gives up. Thank you so much. So you can see here a very nice picture, the last 2 hours we were watching that, from Moritz von Schwinn, a German romantic. Why I'm taking that to you? Who is this painter telling us? Take your time to be in contact with the nature. Take time to be silent. Take time to be observing this wonderful theater God created for us, with mountains, forests, flowers, trees, and some little houses the man has built. Isn't not nice? It's not a big message? The Chinese say, a picture is more worth than 1,000 words. And this picture is speaking along 1,000 words. A classical, Botticelli, youth. Also, the same idea. In the medieval Italy, oh, that's not what you want, but okay. Yeah, you are drinking too much. Yeah. In the medieval Italy, you find the same idea of the German Fifth Reich. They are not attacking any other people, nations, or races. They are just proud of the beauty of our race. As this young girl in the medieval Italy is telling us, please fight for me. That was our past, is our present, is going to be our future. This is a picture from a National Socialistic painter telling in the time of the illegal times in Austria. You know that the National Socialist people in Austria, they were fighting in the illegality until Hitler came to power. But they were still fighting. What is happening here? A mother with 3 little kids, and the husband is taken by the police in handcuffs, and a mess in the house. That was like that in the 30s. It's like that nowadays by me at home. It's going to be for all of us in the future. Who cares? I love this picture from Norman Rockwell. Probably you know him, yes. The Americans know him, because he is a man of us in the 60s. What is he explaining to us in this picture? Look at that guy. He has no shoes, also no money. The pants are not the last trend from Zara. He has only one girdle here, but he's happy. He has a dog. He's going fishing and walking. The sun is shining there for him too. And he's whistling an American traditional song. How many people are whistling nowadays in England? In Spain, what's typical in Spain, the hand workers, the mountains, they were always walking and singing songs. Nobody sings nowadays in Spain anymore. Another Norman Rockwell picture, very nice. A young boy reading a book. Nowadays he will be playing in an iPad. So marksman reading a cavalry novel, always with a dog, keep contact with the nature, love the animals, they are our comrades in this world. And of course he thinks, one day maybe I could be a chevalier saving a young beautiful girl. That's what we have to give to the young people, not so much nightclubs. That's a Spanish painter from Galicia. Galicia, you know, the Celtic part where the Celtics were, and that's to a couple of fishing people with their traditional dress. If we lose our traditional dress, you may think, well, it's not that important. Here our friend, Wagnerian friend, and later removed their dress in traditional dress. Why not? It's a way of defending your identity too. Yeah. And of course, this young couple are going to marry one day, and they are going to have kids. But they are going also to keep the Galician tradition. Another very nice picture from the BDM. It was also a German painter from the 30s, and that was the labor service. It was compulsory. Not only the military service, but also the labor service. And these young girls, from rich families or poor families, they were sent to farmers with a lot of kids to sing songs, to work on the fields, and to come back to the lager singing with their comrades. Also, if we are happy, if we are positive, if we are optimists, we are always going to convince everywhere. Maria Pumier is the translator of Chamille in Paris. She was a left radical communist, Cuban communist. Now she's one of us. She understands who the enemy is, but he comes from the left wing, and he says, Pedro, you're right wing. You are never going to win because you are so pessimistic. You have this anthropological pessimism of the Nazis. You think nothing is going to be better. So why we left wing, we are always positive and we are always winning you? Because we believe in a direct way path to the progressive evolution. You don't believe that. And this believing, also when it is wrong, is giving us craft. So, that's another German painter. He was painting mostly farmers. He always thought the noble faces we can find in the farmers, because they are people that are in contact with the sun, with the moon, with the nature, with the reality. They are not deformed by the TV, by the consumings, by the too many paintings. You can see it's a very easy girl, but he has a noble face. In this case, of course, he's an illegal chef of the youth, of the Austrian youth in the illegal times. That's also our past. Is of course a Viking, it's not a Spaniard, but who cares? This Viking was fighting, and why they were conquering Iceland, and later on Greenland, and later on they came to Vinland, and they came to Russia and to Constantinople with little ships. They had no fear. They were brave. They had no fear. All the people were saying, okay, the Africans, for example, oh, that's a big sea there. Should I take a boat to go to the other side? No way. They were always asking himself, well, I am in Iceland now, but maybe I can find something. Is this drang nach, this idea of getting better, conquering more, going far away, faster, higher. This Viking spirit. Of course, there are no more Vikings anymore, and the Swedish people nowadays, they have little to do with the Vikings. But the spirit of the Vikings, that's the moral important thing. Here a nice picture also from one painter that is telling us, you have a girlfriend, and the path is dirty, and it's raining, and it's foggy, but if you go together, you go through. Siguiente. You know, of course, this one, the Accolade, is a British painter, but it's also our tradition. Siguiente. Let's do that. That's a Romanian farmer girl, and the title of this painting is Just to be happy. Be happy, from Grigorescu. And a very nice picture from Norman Rockwell. Also the Spanish and the North Americans, ships, battles, and then they come the West and the East, and the Indian and the Puritans, and then the North and the South of the States, and then the North American today. Also this is your genealogical tree. What is his name? Is that? Genealogical tree. It is important to know who was your father and your grandfather. Was he a farmer? Was he a doctor? Was he an engineer? So you have some roots, and where come they from? So for example, the Americans, some of them, they know, I had a grandfather in Sweden, the other from Scotland, the other from Ireland or Spain or Italy, no? It's important we keep that, siguiente. Let's do that. That's the only one, it's not a picture, it's just a monk in a monastery, but it's like a picture, it's a nice picture. That's interesting. That's Jesus Christ helping a German soldier in the First World War. Okay, I am dying, I am here injured by British gunners. But he's going to help me. It's only interesting, not only because the message. The painter is not a classical one, it is Hitler. Another American picture. Get on, Nicolas, because we have not so much time. Okay. But it's also classical music. Here, an actual painter in the United States. It's just a gold basket. It's interesting, the name, gold basket, because there are 5 pets. That's life, that's future, that's innocence. Siguiente.
Vamos a cortar ya.
Yeah. That's a Spanish painter, that's unknown, nowadays, living in a monastery in Zaragoza. And he, from nowhere, is painting beautiful pictures. Nobody knows her. You can visit her in the monastery in Zaragoza. But she is just painting austerity, poorness, sincerity, beauty. But you can find, if you have interest in that book, 200 pictures. I try to do pictures because it's an international language. We are preparing an English version from that. And I want to say bye-bye today. Thank you so much. But don't forget, the Arabs came to Spain 711. Interesting, 411, 711. Who opened the doors to the Arabs? The Jews. Everybody knows that in Spain. It took us 800 years to kick them out. But we did. We came over. Always, a personal destiny has no meaning. If I was in Yale a couple of times, well, the good thing about being in Yale, I wrote 800 pages about art and Jews and Holocaust and social things and everything. But my destiny, it has no meaning, it has no matters. I will disappear as every one of you. Who remains is the community. So, fighting and reconquista. Thank you so much.
Okay, we don't want a world full of nothing but banks, chain stores, shopping malls. We want something higher, something better. We need a reconquista, and for that we need a vision of something better, a vision of what we'll build once we win. And for giving us that vision, Pedro Varela.